Hey guys, it's Crystal. So this is going to be a prom video since it's prom season. I've gotten a few requests for several different types of prom looks. This one is going to combine two specific requests that I got from a couple of you. One of them was to do a kind of drugstore product look for prom, and then another request, which I thought I could combine with this, was to do like an island or a tropical chic prom look, especially focusing on the eyes. So what I've done is I've combined a lot of drugstore products, and then the only thing that isn't drugstore would be the eye palette, but you can pick this up on eBay and you don't need this particular palette. You can do it with any palette, any colors that you have. I just figured that combining drugstore and like a tropical island look would be the easiest. The primer that I used is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Primer. You can definitely get this at any Ulta or online. That's going to be a great primer because it's HD, and really the price is wonderful. You're going to be having pictures taken all night during prom, so that's going to be wonderful in terms of diffusing the light just right and making your skin look glowing and even and beautiful in the photos. For foundation, I use the Revlon Photo Ready Airbrush. This is going to be great for photos as well. It's going to give you a nice even coverage. I also applied this Garnier eye roller. This one is not the depuffer, it's the Ultra Lift with retinol, but honestly, this will do pretty much the same thing, and I'll tell you why. It's because this little ball remains cold, so it's going to depuff your eyes. So if you're looking for something to depuff before you start your makeup routine, go with this. I believe I paid $9 for this. Now I'm going to do concealer. This is the Maybelline Age Rewind. It has a highlighter on one end and a corrector or concealer on the other. But it's just nice because it's a concealer and a highlighter in one. Now, for our concealing, what I want to do is really work on the sides of my nose. Any place that you have redness is where you're going to want to conceal. But also, we're going to do a triangle just like that. This is going to brighten up and make this part appear lifted once we start blending in. I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk blending brush for this, and I'm just going to blend in that concealer. I'm going to set all my makeup with a Complexion Perfection powder, and then once we're done with that, let's get on to the eyes. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. eyelid primer. So you literally just put your primer on anywhere that product will be. So I'm going to put it underneath as well, and just with your ring finger, blend it in. Now, because I'm going to be using some really vibrant tropical colors, I am going to be using a white cream base. And this is just the NYX Jumbo Pencil, but I depotted it. So I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm really going to put this from my lash line all the way up to my brow bone. Yes, it's going to be very bright white. Don't worry, it will all be covered. So I'm going to be using my 120 palette. You can get these anywhere. I'm going to be working a lot primarily from this palette, so just check out the colors. I'm going to be using purples, oranges, yellows, and a little bit of just flesh tone for our brow and whatnot. So I'm going to go into this color first, which is just a really pretty kind of goldish, it looks like rice paper from MAC kind of, but really, really shimmery. And using my Sigma E25, I'm just going to place that right in the corner. I'm putting it on an E25 because I want like a lighter application. I don't want it so packed on. I want to be able to build this myself. I'm going to go into the yellows next, and I would rather them be matte yellows. So I'm going to mix just these two right here. And I'm going to pick it up on my MAC 242, and I'm just placing it in the middle of the lid right where my pupil would be. Now, cleaning off my MAC 242, I'm going to go into oranges. And I do want matte again. If you want shimmer, that's fine. You can do shimmer. So I'm going to go back and forth and very lightly. I'm almost making a little arrow shape. So I'm turning my brush this way, and then to go up, turning it this way so that the yellow really goes into it. I'm just going to have that orange go right into the yellow when we get to the crease. I'm going to leave a little hollowed portion. If you can see that, right in there so that another color can fit right into that. So the 120 palette that I have has a lot of great purples to choose from. So I'm going to mix back and forth between a few, and I'm going to be using a different brush for this. I'm going to be using a pencil brush, and this is by Sigma. It's the E30. I want more precision when I get in there. I'm going to be using these purples here. They're a little bit lighter, but I like that. So I'm just going to go into here, and I'm just going to use a little bit of shimmer for the purple as well. So for this, I'm just going to see how that brush fits in that shape we drew? I'm going to have that purple go up. And with a pencil brush, you get way more precision if you're trying to do a certain type of shape or design. And I'm going to bring that purple underneath. Now, cleaning off that pencil brush or getting a new one, I'm going to dip just a little bit into a reddish color. It's almost like a sunset, a tropical sunset. So I'm going to go into this one and this one. Just lightly bring that above a bit, just to make everything kind of flush. Now I'm going to blend. I'm going to use a small blender for this, and it's just the little e.l.f. contour brush. Just lightly. Start blending that. Don't touch the actual lid, just those edges. Now before I go any further, I'm just going to put a brow bone color on so that I have something to blend up into. And I'm just going to use this palette, Vanity from Wet n Wild. It is discontinued, but if you can find it or the colors in it, that'd be great. Remember, we put that white base on, so we want to mix back and forth between these two to get a more skin tone color. If you don't have that palette or can't find a matte shadow like that, just use pressed powder. That's your own skin tone. That will work perfectly. Going back into the 120, just use those orange and yellows and just go underneath your eye really, really slightly. Okay, so next we're going to start our eyeliner. I'm going to be using a black kohl liner for this, and I happen to have the L'Oreal, and this is the Le Kohl pencil in the color Onyx. Going to tightline my upper lash line. This is just for a more intense look, especially in photographs. You don't want to go anywhere with just your tightline and waterline done with a kohl pencil. You really want it set because you're going to be dancing the night away, having fun, and you don't want it to start coming off. So I'm taking an e.l.f. precision brush and I'm dipping it in some black eyeshadow and literally just patting it gently. I'm going to use the Gel Cream Liner by e.l.f. For lashes, you could either use a full set or you could use something like this where it's just little extensions. Just for this look, I'm going to put on mascara, and I'm going to be using the Milani Total Lash Cover. Really inexpensive. It's amazing. I love it. And it's really a nice mascara. If you want to do waterproof, that's a good idea too, just in case you get emotional and you and your girlfriends are like all excited or crying, or you're all sweaty from like dancing so much. So however you want to do it, always get the bottom lashes. This is the e.l.f. Contouring and Blush and Bronzing Powder. And because this look can kind of make our skin look a little bit sullen, look a little bit washed out, I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing and blush. I'm going to use the e.l.f. stippling brush for this. I'm going to stipple this blush on. It's going to look a lot more natural stippled on. So you literally just stipple that on your face. Now into the bronzer, same thing. I'm going to stipple this on and I'm going to contour with it. So up to the side of my face, basically in a C shape. And then just blend that in. So remember that amazing 2-in-1 Maybelline product I told you about. Well, now we're going to go into the highlighting part, and highlighting is really going to be your best friend during prom. So just put that, couple dots. Contouring and highlighting have to go hand in hand. So wherever you contour with a bronzer, you have to highlight. Remember that. This is going to offset it and just give it that evened out look. And then for lipstick, you can go neutral if you'd like. I'm just going to put a pop of pink on, and it's the Revlon Color Stay in Heavenly Mauve number 290. But it's just a little bit like my own lip color. So here's our final look, and this is the combination of several prom requests I got for a tropical island chic prom look, also using drugstore products for a prom look. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, or you can privately email me on YouTube. Don't forget to check out my beauty blog, seattlesbestcrystal.blogspot.com, and stay tuned for more prom looks. Take care, guys!